Saturday afternoon at Phillipsburg Soccer Facility. We have California Vulcans men's soccer. They're taking on and hosting the Findlay Oilers from Ohio. Welcome into the broadcast. I'm Stephen Ruffing, and my partner today is Colin Kirkwood. Colin, couldn't ask for better weather for this game.
Oh, fantastic day indeed here for some soccer on the pitch at Phillipsburg. It'll definitely be enjoyable.
That it will. California coming off a 3-3 draw their last game where they were at West Virginia Wesleyan. A good outcome, granted that West Virginia Wesleyan went 12-6 last season, so that was a pretty good competition for them.
A good team indeed, and no, let's not forget that it was a double overtime game, so a lot of energy taken out in that one, so hopefully they've got some fresh legs out there today and will be able to make their way up and down the field.
And they should. They have a youngster forward, Paul Young, getting a brace in that 3-3 draw against West Virginia Wesleyan. These young guys, California has a lot of them, and they've been making a huge impact for the team.
It's nice to have young members of your team being able to complement some of the veteran leadership on the team and really meshing together, and things are looking up for this year.
That they are, and of course, Anton Perry, who's not starting this game, but he did help with the 3 goals, every single goal scored at West Virginia Wesleyan. Now, it's a different story for Findlay. Their last game ended in a 4-0 loss at the University of Indy, and of course, they're going to be wanting to jump back and get back on their feet.
Now, there's not much distance between these two teams here, but different conferences and whatnot, so a nice non-conference matchup here for your viewing pleasure today.
California kicks this off for the start of the game. California running that classic 4-4-2 formation. A very common formation with the 2 strikers up top. Out for a California throw. California starters. Number 1, Lucas Exner, the senior goalie for California. Number 2, Dimitri Tadezi, the freshman defender from Germantown, Maryland. Number 4, Marcus Garcia Jr., the captain for this Vulcans team. Number 5, Abdullah Nuruddini, the midfielder freshman, another young guy for this California team. Javier Gonzalez Sanchez, the junior defender for California from Madrid, Spain. Number 8, Connor Grest. Number 13, Eric Campbell, the senior veteran for the Vulcans. This one's played back to Lucas Exner. Calmly plays it away to his left back. The next man on the roster, Kwesi Abon. Abon politely gets it back up the field. Grest feeling some trouble. Tadezi there for support. Mario Ulizzi gets the ball away but gives it back to the Oilers. Nathan Sear calmly gets it away out of his own end. Still working upfield is the Oilers. Bricker to Bolinger. Bolinger fighting off 2 Vulcans, just playing it back.
Nice little game of keep away here to start off for these Oilers, making their way up the field slowly, patiently. You have to like it, and here's a long ball now.
California, the last time they met with the Findlay Oilers was 27 years ago in 1991. Findlay came out with a win, 3-0, but of course, Colin, that was a long time ago. 2 different teams and 2 different programs.
Yeah, a long time ago indeed. I just enjoy the fact that we're able to dig back that far and find statistics just like that.
Yep. Huge thank you to the Sports Information Director, Matt Kiefer, preparing us every game with game notes. California controlling the midfield. Up top is Nuruddini. Nuruddini's fouled. No card shown, but this puts California in pretty decent position.
Yeah, making the way towards the attacking third here. Perhaps maybe able to strike and get on the board early if things work out.
Nuruddini thought he was going to take the set piece, but Paul Young Jr. will take the reins. 6-man up for California. Young ready to take the kick. Sends it in, and no one's there. Goes just wide. California unable to get ahead or a foot on that one. Pretty good chance early in the game.
Good chance. He had a great go at that one and just ultimately a little bit too wide.
Of course, the man taking that kick was Paul Young Jr., looking to make yet another impact for this California team. Header won by Campbell. California loses the ball. Still in Findlay's defensive end. Out for a Findlay throw. Excuse me, a free kick for the Oilers. Andrew Bricker, the captain, decides to take this one, just plays it back to Sear, trying to regroup and reset. California wins the ball back in the midfield. Campbell takes control. Fights off a couple Oilers, plays it back. California pushing up forward. Cleared away by Sear. Garcia unable to get that out of the California midfield. Oilers look like they have an attack going. Burton sends it wide to Spangler. Spangler to Burton. Burton sends the ball forward, too much on it, and it falls out of bounds for a California goal kick.
A nice-looking series of events there. I really like the touch on that ball to be able to knife through the defenders, but unfortunately a little bit too much on that one.
Abon to Tazazi. Campbell now. Playing it back to Garcia. Ubon to Tazeza. Out for a Vulcan throw. Grest settles it, gives it away. Handball on the Vulcans. Coming up is an Oilers free kick. Colin, what do you see out of the California team? Showing some decent urgency so far.
Yeah, you can tell they're really looking to get at it here today so far. Making a lot of nice passing, and hopefully they'll be able to gel and get this one up the field and back into that attacking third as we saw them earlier.
In the Oilers' defensive end. Ball sent forward. Burton's on the run. Faces Exner. Exner with a big save. Vulcan's in trouble right now. Unable to clear it out. Shot on. Exner deflects. California finally tries and finds a way to get that ball out, but still in trouble. Long ball. Too much. And it's out of bounds for a California goal kick. California looked like they're in a little bit of trouble there, Colin, but luckily the senior Exner able to stand on his toes and get that ball out of there.
Yeah, it looked like that attacking player for Findlay was looking to go right between the wickets there and shoot that one between the legs, but Exner was able to close off that hole.
Exner has faced plenty of plays just like that, playing over 3,000 minutes in his college career, so he has seen a play like that once or twice. Abon sends the ball in for the Vulcans. Grest fights a man off, comes away with the ball. Tries to send it in. Off a Oilers player, but Grest tried to save that ball, but unfortunately, he sends it out on his own foot.
A lovely goalie kit we see here today, wearing a nice shade of pink for Findlay.
Bolinger sends it up. The Vulcans clear. Still a battle in the midfield. It's a Vulcan and Oilers scrum. The Vulcans come away with it. Nuradini falls down. The ball sent wide. Campbell controls in the midfield. Plays it back to his defense. Long ball up for Greist. Out for an Oilers throw.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if anybody was going to pick up on that one there, as he did indeed play that ball over the line. Almost got away with it.
as we're entering the 36th minute of this game. Still a lot of time left. Oilers working forward. Through ball sent in, broken up by the California defense. Exeter now clears her way to Campbell. Garcia has a man out wide. Unfortunately, Daisy, unable to get a foot on it, sends it out for an Oilers throw.
Two different legs going in different directions there. Could not get the touch he wanted.
Another Oilers throw. Greist fights off two Oilers. Burton. Lightus sends it out off of Vulcan. Another Oilers throw. Bolinger looking for a long ball. Decides to go short. Bolinger. Burton. Oilers have a nice triangle going, but now broken up by California. A counter stopped short by the Oilers. Saigosis sends it out wide. A nice long ball to the open man. California staying strong on defense. Buscemi unable to get a touch on it. California clears.
Nice clear there to really find their way out of danger for the second time here today.
Yeah, California's defense standing on their heads so far. I mean, playing pretty solid, that back four. A lot of tough players back there.
Yeah, the back line has been very strong here so far in that one, being able to sort through the frenzy that was in front of the goal earlier and find their way to knock that one away.
And it seems like Tadaisy playing kind of like a left wing back position. You see him inching closer up to the midfield, and that, provides a lot of options for the Vulcans. Just coming out of that defense, kind of producing a much better, much stronger counterattack once they clear it out.
We've seen throughout plenty of different games and whatnot for California, having a good counterattack can really pay dividends for your program.
Paul Young Jr. goes out wide. Oilers break it up. That's Atkinson. Atkinson unable to control it. Just a lazy play as the ball goes out of bounds.
Playing a lot of this game from the midfield here so far, really not seeing much separation yet.
Ball out for a Vulcan's throw. Ulizzi tries to find a man, but off Oilers player and out of bounds for another Vulcan's throw. Bolinger all by himself at that right back position. And kind of playing, right back position. They have three men back, long ball, off sides. That was a tight one, but the referee on the line, Patrick Doring. Another Munhall native calling.
Nice hometown connection there for you, Steve.
And I promise there's no Munhall collusion going on here. Long ball sent forward for the Vulcans. Off an Oilers head, back to the goalkeeper, Nathan Sear. Sear comfortably collects that one in his own box. 0-0 in the 32nd minute. Neither team really able to fully break past each respective defensive ends. Exeter just trying to slow this one down, trying to give his Vulcan players a chance to get back on sides.
That's a veteran play there to be able to give your team a chance to regroup and really keep their form, because as we've seen before plenty of times, keeping your form leads to good things no matter what team you are.
Yeah, and just kind of settling things down kind of opens up more space, gives your players a chance, get down the field, try to produce something to get on the board. Another free kick for California in a respective position. Beautiful ball in. Campbell unable to get ahead on it, and that is Greist, the man to get a foot on it. A little half volley just sends it past goalie Nathan Sear to put California on the board, 1-0 in the 31st minute.
Great play off that free kick right there, being able to send that one perfectly into the box and then getting a nice square foot on that one to put it into the low 90-degree angle in the corner of the net. Great play.
Beautiful chance, and the awareness Greist had to have. Seeing that Campbell wasn't able to get ahead on it, being the man there, getting a foot on it, sending it beautifully in the bottom left corner to put California up.
Awareness like that is really something you can't teach as many times having attackers work up there and whatnot. Just being able to be in the right place at the right time, and Johnny on the spot. Good goal.
And that was Greist's first goal of the season. The redshirt freshman from Biglerville, Pennsylvania. Of course, Anton Perry and Paul Young coming into the game, the only two players scoring for the Vulcans in that 3-3 draw on Thursday. Now a little bit of rain coming down, Colin.
On our way up here today, I had a slight feeling we might catch a little bit of raindrops, but nothing that this turf field can't handle here today.
And the defenders on both sides need to watch. That turf could get a little slippy and could cause a couple slips and a couple spills. Campbell wins the ball. Greist up forward, cleared away. Heads up play by Tadazy. Greist the man on the left side, offsides.
Oh, great attack moving there. They're really feeling confident on the offensive side of the ball here, and unfortunately just a little bit too eager and excited. And got ahead of that and drew an offside.
Oilers send the ball forward. Atkinson in the midfield. Bollinger makes a man miss, drawing the foul. Foul's on California's Dimitri Tadazy. Lightis plays the ball back, trying to get this Oilers team settled. Ball played forward, a little too much heat. Tadazy. Abon. Great way shielding that ball out, making sure that the Oilers' Lightis couldn't get any foot on it, try to break it up. Top-notch physical play by Kwesi Ubon. Campbell, the big man in the midfield, unable to get ahead on it, goes off Oilers player for a Vulcan's throw.
Rain starting to come down a bit more here this afternoon, and depending on how heavy it can get, you might actually have to change your game plan.
Yeah, I mean, of course, you're probably not going to be sending many long balls as that ball is going to be skipping, so your plan is maybe send that ball on the ground like we just saw. But even then, that ball, picks up some speed, so you're going to have to control your pace and how much weight you're putting on the ball.
Gives the game a little bit of a classic soccer match feel, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, a couple fans trying to flood out with the lack of umbrellas. Breaking away is California in their defensive end. Almost given away. Players confused, thinking that was out of bounds. Now Garcia looking in trouble in his own defensive end. Draws the foul. California free kick coming up. A dangerous play by Garcia, coming after a little bit of confusion if that ball was in or out. Of course, from our point of view, Colin, we're on the near side where the bleachers are, but that far side can be a little tough to see.
Yeah, it's a little bit tough to judge all the way over there in that far corner. Not quite sure what's happening, but we do our best to keep you informed.
Now the rain really starting to come down. Still some blue skies in the area. Oilers in the midfield. Nice breakup play by Tadaisy, but California not out of trouble yet. Burton tries to make a man miss. California clears it away. The referee whistles blow. California free kick coming up. Possibly an offsides play. Exner stepping forward to take the free kick. Downfield is Ulizi. Ulizi unable to get ahead on it. Oilers still trying to break away. Ulizi has the ball on his feet for California. With speed going down that right side, physically trying to guard that ball off, loses it.
Quite a run right there, Steven.
Yeah, Ulizi, a tough player. Has that low center of gravity, so he could really guard that ball, shield it away, and try to make a couple people miss. Tadaisy to Campbell. Sloppy play broken up. Oilers send it forward. And see how that ball skips, Colin.
Just like we talked about earlier. Really have to adjust your game plan.
Try to send low balls forward. Of course, that ball's still going to speed up, but again, you just have to judge the amount of pace you're going to put on it. Whistle blows. California man down.
That one did not look comfortable.
California readying that free kick after the word from the referee. Yellow card was shown on the Oilers player. Midfielder Jack Atkinson in the 26th minute seeing yellow. Nice ball to Tadaisy. Tadaisy, that left wing back, beautiful ball in. Tadaisy at the left side, sends the ball in. Ulizi there, but unable to get a touch on it. Back out to Greist. California regrouping, still on the attack. Abon to Campbell. Campbell plays it back. Garcia showing urgency, playing it back to Exner. Exner needs to send this ball forward. He does. Greist, the man, was offside, so he doesn't even bother with that one. Out for an Oilers throw. Decent opportunity for Tadaisy for the Vulcans.
Interesting option there to play that one back. Thinking to regroup, but just a little bit too far back.
Right, and even with the rain, it looked like it kind of skipped over Garcia's head. California's defensive line pushing up pretty far up the midfield.
Definitely looking to continue this attack they've got going here so far in this one, and why not? They're looking great.
Yeah, California creating a bunch of opportunities. Oilers coming away, has a man on the near side. Bolinger, ball broken up by Tadaisy. Tadaisy tries clearing it, but just off his own man, Abdullah Nurdini. Controlling on the far side is California. Garcia, back to Exner. Exner sends it to Abon. Abon, nice move, a nice little set of foot skills to get past the defender. Greist. Tadaisy at the near touchline, facing a couple Oilers. California needs to get out of this situation, and they do. But a desperate attempt to clear the ball gives the ball back to the Oilers. Gonzalez Sanchez. Forward to Ulizi. Ulizi sends it off the Oilers player. Out of play for a Vulcans throw. Substitutions being made for the Vulcans.
This will be the first substitution of the game here for California.
Rain still coming down. That turf, after each minute, Still getting more and more wet. This ball can be unpredictable. Of course, it can help out for each side's offense and the attackers. The Oilers trying to move on the counter. Burton sends it up, offsides. Another tight call.
It's the third offside for Findlay here so far today, and we're not even past the first half yet.
California early showing that offsides trap. Catching them 3 times now. Now California seeing yellow. Josh Burton. I'm sorry, excuse me. Findlay, Josh Burton, seeing yellow. That's 2 men for Findlay with a yellow card now. They have to watch themselves now, be a little more disciplined. Ball sent in. Exner makes it look easy as he catches and cradles. That ball sent in.
Good save there. Steve, that's 2 yellow cards for the Oilers in the midfield, so should one of them go down and they'd be forced to play with 10 men, danger could ensue.
Right, and that very well could happen unless you want to sub the man out, but it's still early on to sub one of your starters. Another foul called, this one on Christopher Lightis. But again, another factor that could easily change your plan, change your game plan going into this game. 2 men on yellows. 1-0 in the 22nd minute. A ball that just skews out wide from the goalie, Nathan Sear, trying to clear it away. Now a throw-in for the Oilers. Vulcan's unable to possess.
Looks like we might get a break in the weather action here. Finally starting to slow down.
Another foul called. Findlay. Nothing short of physical so far in this game.
Very physical, very aggressive, and so far it's not paying dividends for them as they have 2 yellow cards.
22 minutes left to play. California still holds that 1-0 lead thanks to the Connor Greist goal early on in the contest. California free kick coming up. 5-6 men in for California. Cleared away by Sear. California can still be on the attack.
Finally able to locate that California substitution. It's going to be number 18, Jacob Schwinn, coming in for Mason Briner.
California on the attack. Nardini has a man out wide. That's Greist. Greist in the far corner. Nardini hops over the ball. Oilers send it out for a Vulcan's throw.
I think we're going to have another one here, Steve.
And we'll see.
It'll be the second substitution of the day. 1 more remaining for them.
Actually, in college, Colin, there is no limit on subs. Right. The man going out is Connor Greist, the man that holds the only goal for the Vulcans and in this contest.
You learn something new every day.
There you go.
That's my new tidbit of information.
The man coming on is Anton Perry, another youngster up forward. Sent up by Nardini.
Guess you could say my brain is still in summer mode here, trying to get those United Soccer League rules out of my head.
Yep, exactly.
Steve and I spent significant time this summer around the beautiful game.
Both interning for USL teams. You over in the East at Penn FC, and myself at the Pittsburgh
West.
Riverhounds.
Yeah, two rival teams, no less. Keystone Derby.
Of course, we didn't bring that rivalry to our friendship. Would never.
The greatest of friends cannot be separated.
Foul called on California for a Findlay free kick.
Nine fouls for Findlay here so far, 4 for California.
Ulizzi was pressuring that ball. Perry breaks it up, sends it back to California. And that's just one prime example, if you heard that, of the weather, the wind blowing our door shut. So sorry if you heard that. But Perry up top with the other freshman, Mario Ulizzi. Some freshman speed, and it's looking good for the future of the Vulcans. 18 minutes left to play. With a bad touch, Perry almost had it. A nice tackle from Andrew Bricker. Now a chance. Burton over the net. Exner confused on what happened with his defense. Now to Daisy seeing yellow. A nice ball played in to Josh Burton. He was one-on-one with the keeper, but just sends the ball flying over the bar.
A little bit too high on the shot there.
Just got over it. Got to put that head down. Keep your feet squared.
Can't fault for taking the try if you think you've got the chance.
And he did. He had a great chance. One-on-one with Exner, but had a man on his back. California on the attack. Perry. Nardini sends it out wide. Too much for Tadazy. Out for an Oilers throw. 1-0 still here at Phillipsburg Soccer Facility. Oilers bring that ball back in. Campbell contested Burton. Oilers come away with it. Cleared by Garcia. Another ball just comes off the Oilers goalkeeper, Nathan Sear, and sends it out wide. You know, that just goes to show California really pressuring the Oilers right now. Sear trying to make some plays, you know, off the top of his head, and just sending the ball out twice now out of bounds.
As we've seen so far here throughout this game, California does struggle to get themselves on the attack, but once they do manage to lock in and get themselves ready to go, they are quite a force to be reckoned with.
Whistle blows for a California free kick. You're right. You know, California has been basically pressuring all this game. Holding 54% of possession. Bolinger at the near touchline. Tolitis, Bolinger. In the middle for Atkinson. Sends the ball forward. Burton beats his man. Crosses in. Exner comes away with it right at him. Burton had a man at the far post. Andrew Bricker coming all the way from that left back position. Also playing sort of a left wing back for the Oilers coming forward.
For Exner, you won't get much more of an easy save than that. Really just need to extend the arms and pull that one in.
A nice idea from Burton. Buscini sends the ball out wide. Looking for a touch, the Oilers are. California comes away with the ball. Abon to Exner. Exner calmly gets it away through the midfield. That ball skipped through. Perry on the left side of Ulizi. Perry still on the run, but clips that Oilers player, drawing a foul.
Interesting strategy there, really reaching the hand out and going for a big pull on the neck. Can't do that.
Today's he needs a control in his own end at that near corner. Foul called on the Oilers. That one's on Christopher Lightis. Exner looking like he's the man to take this free kick, and he is. "14 minutes left to play. California still with that 1-0 lead. Campbell controls in the midfield, sends it up. Ulizi. Ball sent out for a California throw. Another substitution for California. Manfred Kwarteng, the junior midfielder from Mesa, Arizona. Another free kick for California. And another foul on Findlay. Ball sent in. Campbell unable to get a hand on it. Findlay clears the ball out, but not enough. Perry, the man on the ball. Tadezi makes a nice move to get past his defender. Tadezi loses the ball to Burton. Burton plays the ball back, looking like Findlay's in trouble. It looked like that one was out, but Tadezi still on the ball. Sent forward, and Sneer sees no trouble. Findlay pressured hard now. Findlay still looking to clear. Bollinger sends the ball forward. A desperate ball sent forward. There's another slip. That's the weather there, Colin.
Weather finally starting to be a factor in this game here, as it is picking up once again, meaning the rain.
And that's what the attackers, they thrive off those kind of plays. You saw Javier Gonzalez-Sanchez slipping in, kind of making up for his mistake, getting a foot on it, still trying to play it back, but it could have ended poorly for California. Luckily, they stayed on their toes and got that ball out. Another free kick for California. #12th foul for Findlay. These fouls are not doing Findlay any favors being down 1-0, Colin.
It's one of those things you think maybe they'll have to think about changing their aggressive play style here and maybe dial it back a little bit, because you're correct there, not doing them any favors. And as we touched on earlier, we don't want to think that it could happen, but should one or two of their midfielders go out on dual yellow cards turned red card, California could have a field day passing up the middle.
Buscini at the far corner sends it in. Stone cold defense from Gonzalez-Sanchez. Corner coming up for Findlay. 4 men up for Findlay right now. Another coming. Andrew Bricker now sending the whole cavalry with 11 minutes left to play in the first half. Ball sent in. Headed out by Tadezi. Still California in trouble. Unable to clear it. And a handball coming up on Findlay. Long way down the field. Perry gets ahead on it. Just goes out wide for a Oilers throw.
Big thank you to our cameramen on top of the press box here, getting a little soaked up there today.
And Gary Smith, one of the men on camera, usually behind the keyboard directing. Now he has to face the trenches up top of the press box in the rain. Perry goes forward just before Nathan Sear gets his hands on the ball. But a big shout out to them.
Danny Beck behind the keyboard here.
Gonzalez Sanchez to Garcia. Campbell with pace. Has a man to his left and his right. Goes to Perry. Perry has to Daisy. To Daisy. Makes a move. Tries to get the ball to Perry, but broken up by Oilers defense. California still pressuring. Nice tic-tac move to get that ball out. Ball sent forward. Up top is Buscemi. Buscemi almost had a chance, but Exner comes out to get that ball away.
Veteran move there to clear that one away to really cover up any chances of danger in the future.
Oilers throw. 9 minutes left. California holding that narrow 1-0 lead. Easily could have more. And Findlay could easily have one or two themselves. But Exner standing on his head in goal.
Tightly contested game.
Findlay switching the field of play. Bollinger making a move up to Buscemi. Broken up by Garcia. Garcia has a man to his left. Too much on the ball. Offsides for Perry. And maybe that's where that freshman mentality comes in, Colin. Trying to make your mark. Jumping a little early.
Putting your fingerprints on the game, no less, but as exciting as it can be to leave your mark on a game like this, you need to make sure you remember fundamentals like that.
Hard tackle on California. Jacob Schwen might be seeing yellow. That was a tough call, a tough tackle, and the referee, he's pulling out that card for Jacob Schwen. And there it is. Got to stay on your feet, especially when the attacker has their back to you. And Schwen.
It's a recipe for trouble.
It is.
Always need to make sure you're making safe and well thought out tackles out there, in front or on the side.
Ball sent out for a Findlay corner. Findlay sending everyone forward. Ball sent in. Exner. The big body in net gets his hands on it, taking away any chance that Findlay had on that set piece.
Steve has the best vantage right now for that, as I've been poking my head in and out of the window just to get California's defensive third in my line of sight.
Findlay on the counter. Burton sends the ball wide to Daisy. Looks like he can control this one. A slide tackle gone wrong for Christopher Lightis. He's already on a yellow. Excuse me, he's not on a yellow. He has had a few fouls called on him. Exner quickly gets things started again. 6 minutes left in the first half, off the head of Lightis, out of bounds for a California throw.
Thank you for joining us here on this Saturday afternoon. It was once a beautiful day for soccer, now turned dreary.
Yet, a good game in front of us right now. No rain, I don't think, can ruin this one. Nice move from Paul Young Jr. to sneak past his defender. Negus Johnson, new man in for the Vulcans, playing in that midfield position. As well as Diego Rodriguez in for California. On the attack is Busani. Ugly ball sent in. California settles. Negus Johnson unable to get a foot on it. Falls out of play for a Findlay throw. Burton to Bowlinger. Bowlinger still fighting for possession. A tackle by Joey Busani. Gone wrong. Now some pushing and shoving. This is not looking good for Busani. Tempers flaring in Phillipsburg soccer facility. A yellow shown, possibly a yellow, to Busani. Words were said after that tackle from Busani. Ended up in some pushing and shoving. Paul Young Jr. Rodriguez gives the ball away to Burton. Nice set of passes. Ends up with the ball in Exner's hands. Quickly gets away to his right back, Gonzalez Sanchez. Gonzalez Sanchez plays the ball forward. A little too much on it for Manfred Quartang. Ball sent forward. A couple men offside for Findlay, way offside. As they might be arguing that ball should have been sent forward a little earlier, but that's not the case.
Never a good sound to hear. Some thunder rolling in.
Hopefully the Lightning can hold off. 4 minutes left in the first half. To Daisy. Settles ball on the near touchline. Vulcans unable to produce a pass in that midfield. Bowlinger. Inside to Leitis. Switching play. Long ball in. Matthew Spangler, the man on the far side, sends the ball into Exner's arms once again. Still, Findlay unable to produce much right now. Mostly all the balls sent forward end up in Exner's hands.
Yeah, he's been doing a good job of really smothering those balls that come his way. As you said, really can't predict how the ball's going to run with this wet field, so he's doing a good job.
Sent forward, Burton, one-on-one with Exner. Great save by the senior goalkeeper. Sorry to cut you off there, Colin.
No, as we said earlier, you are in the correct viewpoint. A little bit out of my eye line.
Findlay trying to produce another scoring opportunity. Through ball in. Jack Atkinson at the far side takes on a Vulcan defender. Ball played out. Findlay corner coming up. Findlay stalking that edge of the box. Still some Oilers players coming in for the set piece.
Time winding down here.
Ball sent in. Winkler got ahead on it, cleared away by California. A decent scoring chance, not enough on the head. Nathan Schmidt, the man in for the Oilers, takes the throw. Burton sends the ball backwards. But too much out for a California goal kick. Christopher Light is trying to draw a foul in the box, kind of getting desperate in the California defensive end.
Clean defense there for California. Two guys that just happen to be a little bit larger than the Oiler attacker there.
And just doing a great job of shielding that ball away. Campbell gets a head on it, but unable to flick it past him. California still has possession. Quartang sends it to Campbell. Campbell plays it inside to Rodriguez, but no one was home. Forward. Campbell tries to take advantage of the poor touch on the Findlay side.
1 minute remaining in the half. 1 minute remaining in the half.
1 minute left to play in this first half. Now the rain starting to really come down. Findlay making a move. This is where the energy amps up. Findlay has a man on the far side. They found him. Ben Bolinger sends the ball forward. Exner easily gets it right to his hands. Now the Vulcans can try to make something happen on the counterattack with 30 seconds left in the first half.
Another great series of events, Steve. It looks like they're really trying to generate their offense from the corners of the field here, and it just doesn't seem to be working out for them. They're getting good crosses, but Exner is playing very well and shutting those down.
10
seconds now in the first half. Findlay
7,
sending everything
6,
forward.
5,
That ball
4,
goes straight to the
3,
goalkeeper Exner.
1.
Now, time concludes in the first half. California, they're holding that 1-0 lead, but both teams, both sides, having multiple opportunities. More action after halftime at Phillipsburg Soccer Facility here on CUTV.
Mrs. and Mrs. Jimmy and Minnie Buell.
I came from 5 generations of teachers. Losing my job was the bottom falling out of my world.
Most party fouls are pretty dumb. But if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Underage drinking and driving. The ultimate party foul.
Patriotism. There's a word thrown around a lot. It inspires passionate debate and is worn like a badge of honor, and with good reason. Because it means love and devotion for one's country. Love. For a word designed to unite, it can also be pretty divisive. You see, there's more to patriotism than flag sequin onesies and rodeos and quadruple cheeseburgers. Patriotism is love for a country, not just pride in it. But what really makes up this country of ours? What is it we love? It's more than just a huge rock full of animals like cougars and eagles, right? It's the people. Do me a favor. Close your eyes for a second. I want to try something out. Picture the average U.S. citizen. Think about it. How old are they? What's their hair like? How much can they bench? You got one? Okay. So chances are, the person you're picturing right now looks a little different the real average American. There are 319 million U.S. citizens. 51% are female. So first off, the average American is a woman. Cool, huh? Is that what you pictured? 54 million are Latino, 40 million senior citizens, 27 million are disabled, 18 million are Asian. That's more people in the U.S. than play football and baseball combined. 9 million are lesbian, gay, bi, transgender, more than the entire amount of people that live in the state of Virginia. Around 10 million are redhead, 5.1 million play ultimate frisbee, and 3.5 million are Muslim. Triple the number of people currently serving in the United States military. Almost half the country belongs to minority groups. People who are lesbian, African American, and bi, and transgender, and Native American, and proud of it. We know that labels don't devalue us, they help define us, keeping us dialed into our cultures and our beliefs and who we are as Americans. After all, what's more American than freedom to celebrate the things that make us, us? I mean, it's stitched into the stars and stripes of this country, from the Constitution to Gettysburg, to our motto, E pluribus unum, from many, one. It's even in our country's name, the United States. This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Love beyond age, disability, sexuality, race, religion, and any other labels. Because the second any of us judge people based on those labels, we're not really being patriotic, are we? So let's try this one more time. Close your eyes. Picture the average Joe or Joan or Juan or Jean-Luc. The real people who make America, America. And this year, whenever you feel the urge to don those star-spangled shorts, set off fireworks the size of my biceps to show love for our country, remember that to love America is to love all Americans. Because love has no labels.
Are you a visual storyteller? The Cal Times and CUTV is looking for students with an interest in expanding their skills in photography and videography. We call it visual journalism, and we're here to offer you opportunities to learn how to shoot and edit from a wide range of events at California University of Pennsylvania. Our focus is on local coverage of sports and news events from campus and around the region. We provide on-site training as we help you develop your skills as a visual, multimedia storyteller for the Cal Times newspaper and CUTV News Center. To learn more about visual journalism opportunities and join our team, visit our media production facility in the Natali Student Center or email the Cal Times at caltimes@calu.edu.
The Student Association Incorporated, or SAI, has been serving California University's student body since 1937. SAI is owned and operated by the students, which means every student has a voice in the corporation. Over 100 clubs and organizations are funded through student activities fees. These clubs and organizations cover a wide variety of interests from academic, arts, media communications, faith, politics, service, sports, recreation, and much more. If you don't find a club you like, you can start your own by finding 20 like-minded students. The opportunities are endless. The Student Association is directed by a board of directors made up of undergraduate and graduate students, alumni, and retired faculty. In addition to clubs and activities, the Student Association owns 2 areas for recreation that total close to 200 acres, Roadman Park and the SAI Farm. Roadman Park hosts club sports such as men's and women's rugby and the club baseball team. A variety of intramural sports are hosted at Roadman Park as well. The Vulcan tennis team plays its home matches at its facility, and a baseball field serves as home to the club baseball team and a practice field for the varsity team. The SAI Farm offers many different recreation and meeting opportunities. The renovated farmhouse, which dates back to the 1790s, has space for meetings and banquets. A picnic pavilion seats up to 128 people and is equipped with restrooms, playground, horseshoe pits, and volleyball court. Throughout the property is the disc golf course, which was the first course built in Washington County. There is a fitness course around a portion of the cross-country track and nature and hiking trails across the property. If that's not enough, the Student Association owns Vulcan Village housing near Roadman Park, approximately 1 mile from campus. These fully furnished apartments offer private bedrooms with the option of private bathrooms too. These options include 2-bed, 2-bath, 4-bed, 4-bath, and 4-bed, 2-bath. Housing at Vulcan Village includes all utilities, cable and internet, along with an outdoor saltwater pool, basketball court, and sand volleyball court. Room service dining is also available to the residents. Vulcan Village houses 770 people spread out among 199 apartments, so finding something to do or someone to spend time with is a breeze. The Student Association Incorporated aims to make student life better for all students. Get involved in the various clubs and activities, and make sure to utilize your activities transcript. The activities transcript is a resource to keep track of what you're involved in. This is great to have when applying for jobs and internships to show how involved you are. And this is another awesome tool provided by SAI. Remember, SAI is your student association. High school football is back on CUTV. Brownsville versus Bentworth. Upper Dauphin versus Millersburg. Charleroi versus Fraser. California versus Washington. Bell Vernon versus Greensburg-Salem. Elizabeth Ford versus North Catholic. Carmichaels versus Union. Ringgold versus West Mifflin. Beth Center versus Fraser. Catch all the action on your home for high school football. CUTV, California University Television.
The rain is cleared, readying up for the second half. California still has that 1-0 lead coming into the second half. Welcome back into the broadcast. I'm Stephen Ruffing, my partner, Colin Kirkwood. Colin, great first half for California and in general.
Yeah, in general and for California especially. Really working their chances on the attack well, making their way up the field, converting when it counts, and still holding that lead here at the half.
And not only converting when it counts, but on the defensive side, staying on top of things. Of course, your veteran goalkeeper, Lucas Exner, standing on his head, having to make multiple big saves for the Vulcans.
Couple of stats to bring you up to date here. Findlay has 6 shots on goal, yet has not found the back of the net. California with 2, 50%, as they have found the back of the net once.
Looks like the Vulcans are coming out with sort of a 4-2-1-3 formation, changing it up from the 4-4-2.
5 offsides for Findlay here so far, 1 for California. 17 fouls for Findlay, 8 for California. 3 yellow cards for the Oilers, 2 for the Vulcans.
Ball's out for a Vulcans throw. And those fouls, it costs Findlay a great deal. Of course, on the scoreboard and in general with a few players holding yellow cards, but the same goes for California. A couple people holding yellow cards. Findlay on the attack. Near side is Winkler. Winkler tries to make a nice move. Does a little too much. Finds himself into some trouble as Javier Gonzalez Sanchez gets the ball out for a throw.
Drying the ball off there with the jersey. Get a good grip on it.
Daisy caught off guard. The Oilers were able to sneak past him. Taylor Miles sends the ball in. A man open. Winkler loses it. Still on the attack is the Oilers. Atkinson makes a couple people miss. California clears the ball after the first decent chance for the Findlay Oilers.
Great move there by the Findlay attacker there. Making his way through 2 defenders. The Leeds England native, Atkinson.
Another fancy footwork, this time by Josh Dickinson. Plays it out wide. Oilers on the attack. Nice flick by Atkinson. A little fancy. Psychosis sends the ball through. Matthew Spangler on the near side. Ball in. Oilers still on the attack. California comes up big with Marcus Garcia coming away with the ball. Garcia still going forward. Broken up by number 12, Keegan Winkler.
Garcia almost got a foot off of that pass from the Oilers goalkeeper. Great effort.
And Garcia still forward, working his way back to that center back position. Dickinson makes a move. Now up. Burton unable to get a foot on it. Gonzalez Sanchez finds a man in the middle. Winkler tries sending that ball through. Yet again, Javier Gonzalez Sanchez comes up big for the California defense. Munger out for Oilers throw. One-two ball ends on the feet of Munker. Looks like another foul will be called, this time on California. A set piece might be marked at that far touchline.
Quite a great view line here as we've got a fantastic rainbow breaking over the field now. Very well defined. Normally you can't see the purple that well, but today you can.
Burton, the man at the centerpiece, sends the ball long, out of bounds, too much on it. Coming up is a California free kick.
A little over-eager there on that one, perhaps put a little bit too much leg behind it. Looking to find that equalizer.
So far in this second half, 5 minutes already played. California has been on the defending side for a majority of that 5 minutes. Now a foul coming up on Findlay.
Something was definitely adjusted during that half period there because Findlay looks like a different team here so far on the offensive side.
Exner playing up a decent bit. Gets the ball wide to Gonzalez-Sanchez. Bad touch by Briner. Briner still fighting for that ball. Physical play by Dickinson. Now Miles. Miles sends it to Dickinson too much. Out of bounds, California free kick.
Findlay's finding good ways to really push the ball up the field here. Just once again, a little bit too much. Game of inches.
And of course, you have to believe that turf is still decently wet, so that ball, that's going to be rolling.
Oh yeah, it's going to glide. No doubt.
California working in the midfield. Gives it up to Burton. Dickinson. Nice 1-2 play with Burton. Burton still on the ball. Has a touch. Spangler. Dickinson fighting off a Vulcan. Dickinson with some fancy footwork. Still on the ball. Inside to Atkinson. Atkinson through to Burton. Burton one-on-one with Exner wide of the far post. Exner coming out and just cutting off Atkinson's angle.
Great chance there. Making it right up in the grill of Exner there. But unfortunately just shanked it wide.
Excuse me, that was Burton. Burton's second or third chance one-on-one with Exner. And you got to believe that Exner is in Burton's head at this point.
Third shot on goal for the day.
That wasn't on goal, just wide. I don't think Exner got anything on that. I could be wrong, partner. Far side is the Vulcans. Tough defense by the Oilers to get that one out, but still a Vulcan throw. About 38 minutes left in the game. California still has that 1-0 lead. Movement from the Vulcans. Now out by the Oilers. Gonzalez-Sanchez. Paul Young Jr. getting a little too physical. Drawing some contact, drawing that foul.
Very intense defensive challenge there. A little bit too much hand action.
A backheel attempt. No good for the Oilers. Up top to Ulizzi. Ulizzi just nicks it off an Oilers defender out of bounds. Vulcan's throw. Nardini, bad touch, gives it away. A back and forth game between the Vulcan midfield and the Oilers defense. Fighting for the ball is Teduzzi. It looked like it was off the Vulcan defender, Mason Briner, but we had a pretty clear view of it. Maybe the ref didn't have as better view as we did, Colin, as the Vulcans. They won that one, but immediately give it away.
prime time spot. We are in here right on the middle of the field. A lot more offensive action here in the second half, Steve.
Yes, there is. Now Vulcan's looking forward to it. Eric Campbell with a move. No good.
Really, in that first half, we saw quite a lot of action going on in the midfield. A lot of passing groups back and forth, being intercepted and whatnot. But now we're really seeing the teams take chances.
Forward too much for Connor Greist.
Another prime example right there.
Yep. Too much weight on the ball for Greist. 35 minutes left in the game. California 1, Findlay 0. Findlay coming all the way from Ohio to take on the Vulcans. Whistle was blown on the Vulcans. Findlay set up for a free kick. Read wonderfully by Briner, but kicks it out of bounds off a bad touch to Greist. Gonzalez Sanchez plays up. A header one from California. Ulizzi wasn't able to get a touch on it. Findlay now controls. Ulizzi at the far side. Makes a man miss. Forward to Greist. Greist has one man to beat. Tries to get a touch off the Findlay defender out for a corner.
Pressure really mounting here. We'll see if they can convert off this corner. Can't quite tell who they'll be sending to.
Paul Young Jr., I believe, is the man taking the set piece.
Native of Kingston, Jamaica.
Ball sent in. Out wide, Greist gets a head on it over the net.
Quality chance right there. Inches above the bar. You can't place it any better than that. The only way you could place it better is if it made it in the net.
Exactly. He was eyeing up that top right corner.
Would have been a pretty goal, no doubt in my mind.
It would have. He found himself some space, found himself on the ball, but just tops over his head and over the bar. Substitution for California. The man going off is Mason Briner. Coming back to the right back position is Jacob Schwein. 33 minutes left to play in the second half. California holds the lead. Spangler to Dickinson. A defensive battle going on. Javier Gonzalez Sanchez got too physical, draws a penalty quickly. Findlay tries getting this one, but it fails. Campbell can't give the ball up in your defensive zone like that. Now Findlay on the attack. Dickinson gives it away. Now Campbell. Ulizzi. Ball sent forward. The man chasing the ball is Dylan Zupank. Findlay has a man up. It's Burton. Burton has Garcia to beat. Garcia once again stands strong. He's a brick wall back there at that left center back position.
Good attack, not quite over yet.
Foul called on to Daisy. To Deza. Offsides off Findlay. Off the arm of Exner. I'm sorry I wasn't caught up with that one. Findlay took a quick free kick, and to me, I think the man was offsides. That looked like it was Dickinson.
3 straight fouls here on California, perhaps maybe getting caught napping on these offensive attacks by the Oilers here, who are really pushing the ball up the field.
And luckily they caught Findlay off sides once again. Tedeza sends the ball forward, broken up. Out for a Findlay throw. Now the referees changed their mind. Vulcans will get this one back into play. Findlay still unable to clear. Cycling in the defensive zone. Spangler sends the ball forward, smacks the chest of Jacob Schwinn. Schwinn's going to be feeling that one in the morning.
Yeah, you might not think really taking a soccer ball like that is very uncomfortable because, you know, but man, it is not a comfy experience. I've had that happen a couple of times right in the chest. It really takes your breath away.
It does, and not in a good way. Of course, I played the game all the way up until I came to college. My freshman year, my senior year was my last year, and, you know, you take those couple of knocks. Each coach yells at you when you duck from the ball. It's air and rubber, but, you know, that air and rubber can do some damage. Findlay settled. Burton plays the ball up. Dickinson about a foot offside. So we're getting a little eager now, getting a little desperate with 30 minutes left in the second half.
I believe that is going to be the 7th offside call for Findlay here so far in this game.
The referee having some discussion with the California bench.
Perhaps we'll see a substitution or two here.
I don't think that. I think the main official is having a word with head coach Abedin Sabich.
Nonetheless, a lot of players over there putting on the warm-up top.
Well, you know what I think it is? I think they're having them put on the practice pennies because the coaching staff is wearing, you know, the all black shirts and shorts, and maybe there was some confusion. An odd decision to make this late in the game. You'd think something would be said earlier in the first half.
I know that happened to us before this summer, as we talked about earlier. If you're just joining us, there was a game where we have white staff shirts at Penn FC, and we, being on the sidelines, had to put on pennies because, you know, to look like a staff member. And we were playing the Richmond Kickers, who came in their red kit that day, and we had red pennies on. So everybody who was out on the field had to run back into the back and grab a different color penny, black, whatever you could find, and switch it because they thought there was a little bit of confusion going on there.
You gotta love that. Same situation. Just assuming here, that's what happened. Dickinson plays the ball forward. Back over to Dickinson, unable to produce anything. The ball will go out for a California free goal kick. Lucas Exner playing well so far, did not start against West Virginia Wesleyan. Was unsure if he was going to start this game.
German-born goalkeeper for California.
A chance broken up from the Findlay defender. California, another great opportunity.
A little bit of miscommunication there. 3 are going to come on for California now.
Campbell was one of the men going out. Paul Young Jr. and Mario Ulizzi. Jacob Schwinn sends that one back into play. Findlay on the attack. One man up. Now Burton. Burton, the man with the armband for Findlay. One of the men with the armband. Of course, Andrew Bricker, the center back for the Oilers, holding a sporting, I should say, an orange captain armband as well. Ball out again for a Vulcan throw. 26 minutes left in the first half. Good chance for the Vulcans. Jacob Schwinn can't produce anything out of that. Nathan Shear collectively gets the ball, sends it back out on the far side.
3 substitutions on for California, where Ismael Diaz Sandoval, Diego Rodriguez, and Negus Johnson making their way onto the pitch here.
Sear switches up the play over to his left back, Joshua Boss. Ball sent out by Jacob Schwinn, just clearing the play. Findlay trying to get that ball out is Burton. California eagerly broke that up. Findlay on the attack. Spangler to Dickinson to Spangler. Spangler setting the ball back. A bad touch by the captain, Andrew Bricker. California looks like they're going on the counter. A little too much for Negus Johnson. Johnson still trying to get a touch on it. He does, but Findlay just sends it out wide, out of bounds for a throw. And a little interesting thing about the throw, some talks in the professional level to do away with throw-ins and just make every would-be throw-in basically a free kick, basically a corner just on the touchline wherever the ball went off, and that, I guess makes the game quicker as defenders wouldn't be kicking it out of bounds. Foul called on the Vulcans. Dickinson quickly gets this ball back into play, but something that is in talks, not 100% sure at the professional level, but would be interesting, thinking about the defenders just clearing the ball away, a little more risky now. But back into this game, whistle blown on California. Free kick coming up. And, of course, another one is doing away with headers.
Right.
Which I think I'm on the side of, keeping heading in the game. Of course, at the youth level, you're not allowed to actually head the ball until you reach under 12s. But, I always stood by the theory that if you teach the fundamentals of heading and how to actually, head the ball correctly, you can avoid some of these injuries. Dickinson with the set piece, sends it to the far side. California clears with the header, still in the box. Findlay screaming for a handball in the box, but will result just in a corner.
Interesting point you bring up about the header discussion in the game of soccer today. I really feel like if they were to take that away, it would take away a big element of the game.
Absolutely.
Because you'd be forced to really keep your corner kicks lower and hope somebody's able to deflect it into the net rather than go off the head.
It changes so many factors of the game. Findlay setting up for a corner. Ball sent in, far post. Cleared away by California. Still on the attack is Findlay. Ball sent in, California clears. Zupank has a man to beat, draws the foul. That is on Matthew Spangler. California gets this one rolling again. The intensity level is filling up in this contest. Sent forward, out of bounds. But yeah, Colin, just how many factors taking heading out of the game. that's why I'm against it. You know, that ball's in the air, and it's second nature to get up there. You know,
it
even
really is.
even a small guy like me would still, you know, jump up, try to get a head on the ball. But it's just such an important part to me in the game.
You think about it, so many different professional players would really just lose out on their legacy or have not a chance to make a new one. There are so many players who've made their names known just purely based on their heading ability. One that comes to my mind is Robert Lewandowski.
Right, you know, he's so lethal in the air, and you have these tall strikers, you know, that pride themselves on it. And one that comes to my mind is West Ham's former striker Andy Carroll. And, you know, he was such an X factor coming off the bench. You know, down 1-0, you need a desperate goal, sending those long balls in just to get a head on it. So, to me, I don't think it should be taken out of the game. Findlay on the attack. Ball sent in, Exner, right in his hands. But, of course, there's a different discussion of, you know, all different levels, and people obviously have different opinions about the changes. Yet another foul called, this time on California. Findlay quickly gets the ball back into play. 20 minutes remain in the second half. Findlay trying to break forward, unable to. Some contact drawn, but the referee keeps his whistle. But Findlay will retaliate and draw the foul. That's Captain Josh Burton having a word with the referee. I'm sorry, that's Dickinson. Dickinson having a word with the head official.
Dangerous play there, really ill-advised tackle.
Yeah, when that back is turned towards you, you really should stay on your feet. You don't slide. And really, Dickinson is lucky to come out of that without a yellow card. And honestly, if that's in a different spot on the field, it could easily be a red. Two men forward, pushing the defensive line for California. Eckner's free kick is short. California looks like they're running into trouble. Dickinson comes away with the ball. Findlay still fighting for it. I'm sorry, that was Burton. Burton sends it out wide. Burton with a shot way up high into the trees. Completely off target.
Splits the imaginary uprights there on that one. Really up there. Almost completely got over the protective barrier behind the net.
Yep. Ended the top of that tree. Luckily, it came back down.
Always have to keep your knee over the ball.
Got to keep that head down. You know, maybe you try to rush that one a little bit. Ball won in the midfield by Findlay. Right back to California.
Ooh, and that doesn't feel good at all.
Foul called on Findlay. And you're right, that doesn't look good. Marcus Garcia Jr., the man in pain, tried to clear that ball.
Josh Burton definitely took quite a smack there, running into that fully extended kick. You have to be aware in terms of that because you can really hurt yourself.
Right, I'm just happy both parties are okay, both men on their feet. Really not sure what the foul was called on that one. Either way, California has a free kick, and Exner was actually having a word with the main official. 18:20 left to play in the game. California holding on 1-0 lead. Soon here you're going to see maybe some long balls from Findlay and then a very conservative defensive game by California.
Very well played game for them so far.
A very tactical game. You know, picking and choosing their balls, picking and choosing their runs. Just a very well structured Vulcan team so far. Offside call on Findlay. Something that we've gotten used to saying in this game.
Opening with a potential 1-0-1 record would be a big thing for this team.
It would be, as they travel to Roberts Wesleyan in New York in 11 days. A pretty decent-sized break for California. That game is on September 12th at 6 p.m.
Should they manage to hold on here today and bring home this victory, they would be at the halfway point in terms of victories that they secured last year. Only 2 wins on the season last year.
That would be, especially you need to get those conference wins. Their first conference game comes at East Stroudsburg on September 21st.
A grueling road trip.
Yep. That's also a 1 p.m. game, so might see them go a day early and stay over until the game, but you never know. Little discussion with the clock. 16:56 left to play. Burton tries to sneak past his defender. Foul called on California. Burton to Dickinson. Dickinson fighting for the ball. Burton comes through, snatches it off his own player. Now California looking at a 2-on-2. Negus Johnson unable to get anything on it, gives it away. Findlay on the attack. California looking to be on the counter. Sends that ball forward. Joshua Boss making the run. Now Joshua Boss draws a foul on Findlay. 16 minutes left in the second half.
If you're enjoying this soccer action here on CUTV Sports 1, we hope that you join us again Wednesday, as we'll have women's soccer action between the Vulcans and University of Pittsburgh Johnstown.
Dickinson intercepts that one, passes it right back to California's defense. Burton now fouls the man on the California side.
6 p.m. game, it'll be on Wednesday. Women's team coming off a double overtime game of their own, defeating West Liberty at home on the 30th of August.
And they also lost 3-1 today at Millersville. A tough road trip there.
Millersville's always a fantastic team. Very good soccer program over there.
Yeah, it is.
Finding themselves in the top 25 frequently.
Ball won by the Vulcans. Findlay quickly clears. Battle for possession in the midfield. People unable to bring that ball down. Now Burton having some select words with the California player, Ishmael Diaz-Sandoval. Tadeza sends that ball out, tries throwing it in, but there is a substitution being called. Eric Campbell looks to be the man coming in for the Vulcans.
Athletic trainer makes their way onto the field. Not sure.
And they're still on the field. I'm not sure what's going on. I think Burton got hit in the head, and I think they were just coming out to make sure that he, is okay, doesn't show any signs of concussion, because there was a little dangerous play between himself and Diaz-Sandoval. Diaz-Sandoval put a little pressure on the back of Burton's head, and I think that's just what the trainers were coming out to make sure everything was okay.
Coming onto the field for Findlay is Joey Buscani. And you were correct, Steve, as Eric Campbell will re-enter for California.
California loses possession in a tough territory. Findlay still unable to get anything going. Now they have a chance. Dickinson. Shot on, but easy for Exner. Exner looking to go long, and he does. Eric Campbell chasing that ball down at the far side. Shielded away by Connor Grice to win possession. Now the referee blows his whistle again.
Fourth save of the day for Exner.
And that one wasn't the toughest save he had to make. Of course, I look back to the first half save he made on Burton when Burton was one-on-one with the veteran goalkeeper. Made a beautiful save. Beautiful lunging save with his leg. Referee having a word with Captain Andrew Bricker. This game is just getting chippier and chippier as it goes on, and rightfully so. Findlay looking to get on the board, but if you're not going to be disciplined like this, good luck trying to get on the score sheet.
Yeah, having a bunch of hot heads running around the field does not equal a focused team, and it can really have you struggling
right,
to
and
get everybody on the same channel.
That goes for California. They could easily blow this lead if they start lacking discipline. You know, it's easy when Findlay, you know, maybe gets a little too physical, you know, get a little physical back. So really, both teams kind of need to step back and settle down to make sure there's no more further conflict in the game. Campbell gives the ball away to the Oilers. Handball called on Campbell.
There's two really distinct ways, obvious ways I should say, that California can go for the rest of this game here. They can continue to try to push the ball up the field and maybe add an insurance goal, or park the Busk-esque move and really just sit back and hope that they can defend. And with the way that Exner is playing today, I don't think that would be a bad decision.
Right. It wouldn't be a problem for the Vulcans. But, of course, you need to stay on top of things on the defensive end. And, of course, control this midfield like they are. A couple bad touches end up in Findlay staying with the possession. Now Findlay on the attack. Ball play forward. Good defensive step by Manfred Quartang. Campbell able to get the ball over to his fellow forward. Now, on the right side is Jacob Schwinn. Making a run. 1-2 play between him and Connor Grice. Long ball sent wide to Daisy. To Deza. Almost gave possession away, but the referee blows and says that one just went right out of bounds for a California throw. Long ball sent in. Another couple bad touches ends up in favor of Findlay. The Oilers on the attack. Ball sent forward. Dickinson has a couple options. Once again, Garcia there to break things up, but still not out of trouble. Ball sent forward. Ball sent in through to Burton. Burton, the ball's just behind him, gains possession. Great save by Exner. Burton has attempted at least 4 shots on Exner, and every single one of them have been saved by the German goalkeeper.
Really playing well here today, being on top of everything he's faced.
Up the right touch line is Jacob Schwinn, but ball broken up out of bounds. Substitution for California. Connor Grice will be the man taking a seat.
Mario Lizzie returns.
Ulizzi, the speedy forward, has a chance now. Top of the box. Ulizzi still with possession. Findlay breaks it up. A nice defensive stand. Dickinson tries to keep it in. He does. Off California for a Findlay throw. Switch of field. Opens up the play for Findlay. A nice defensive stand for Tedeza. Now Tedeza goes down, favoring that right leg. Looks like his shin guard actually popped out, and maybe he got some contact on that right leg. If you could see that orange shin guard laying on the ground at the far corner of the box where Exner is.
They're going to call for attention here.
And you know, when those shin guards pop out like that, you risk injury, and hopefully Tedeza is okay. He's been a solid left wing back for California throughout this whole game. 10:23 left to play. California still holds that 1-0 lead. As Tedeza receives attention from the trainers, let's just take a look ahead in the upcoming schedule for the Vulcans. Of course, the 12th of September, like I said, is at Roberts Wesleyan in New York at 6 p.m. It's kickoff. 3 days later, another busy road trip at Wheeling Jesuit. That's a 1 p.m. kickoff. Tedeza, luckily, unfortunately, is back on his feet heading towards the sideline. I'm trying to see if anybody's warming up to come on for the Vulcans.
Those Wheeling Jesuit Cardinals were in action today as they hosted Pitt Johnstown. Came away with a 3-0 victory. Bloomsburg hosting Bloomfield College, 5:30 p.m. in Bloomsburg. Slippery Rock hosting Lake Erie College, 7 p.m. Millersville hosting Goldie Beacom, and East Stroudsburg on the road in Rutherford, New Jersey at Felician.
Talk about tough traveling schedules for these PSAC teams. Ball bounces past the Findlay defensive side. The ball is broken up by Campbell, not letting anything by him as Findlay was trying to clear that ball. They'll have to settle for a throw. A missed touch by one of the Oiler players. Sent wide. California controls the midfield. Sends the ball forward. Schwen plays it back. Rodriguez. California has that central mid under control. A bad touch by Diaz Sandoval makes up for it. Gets the ball over to Schwen, but is called for a handball. 9:20 left in the second half. Findlay has to figure out something if they want to get on the board. Schwen with a good defensive header. Back on his feet, controls the ball, sends the ball to the corner. The man running for it is Ulizzi. Some soft pressure coming from the California forward. A strong tackle from the defender, Andrew Bricker. Actually, the foul was on California. A tough tackle. Some clamoring in the stands saying that wasn't a foul. And That just kind of segues into how difficult the job is for an official, especially for soccer. It's a lot of split-second decisions, especially with some of the tackles.
And you really have to be on your toes in terms of wanting to make those decisions. A lot of reaction time involved.
Sent forward, Sear comes out to play it, right to a California player. Long shots on, off the post. Are you kidding me? Still California on the attack, offsides. A game of inches.
Quite a strike there. Really following through on that one and just finding the cruel mistress that is the goalpost.
And, of course, the dozens of referees in the stands yelling that wasn't offsides. But to me, it did look like it. Right when that shot was taken off, it looked like Mario Ulizzi was just behind the defensive line. Yet another great opportunity. A long shot from Joshua Boss. And Colin, just a game of inches. Everybody at the stadium thought that was in. And now the referee pulling out his cards once again. The man being booked is Javier Gonzalez Sanchez. And quite honestly, Colin, I don't know what that one was for.
Perhaps, maybe.
I wasn't looking. I was looking in the middle of the field. That's the only reason I didn't catch it.
Well, I had a feeling perhaps maybe in terms of things being said because I didn't see that much physical action around him. So
very well could have been.
You never know.
California slowing this game down, trying to drag every second out as they can. 6:45 in the second half is left to play. Ball sent forward. Eric Campbell, the big man there. Nathan Sear jumps on that one. And just not a smart play by California. Extending those arms, pushing the Findlay player to the ground. And I'm surprised. Now,
I think another card just came out, Steve.
But this time on Findlay, Joey Bushani gets the red card. I thought that one was going to be on number 24, Nick Falvo.
That's a red card as well.
That is a red card. Findlay is down to 10 men as Bushani leave the game early.
He did secure his yellow card back in the 39th minute in the first half. As per procedure, second yellow card equals red.
Now Findlay just making things difficult for themselves, playing a man down, playing with only 9 people in the field. That's not including the goalie. Down to 10 men altogether. Long ball sent forward. Sear, way off his line. Another ball kind of skews off his foot. Another foul called. This one on California. Nick Falvo is the man that drew the contact. 5:30 left in the second half. California on the attack, pressuring Findlay. Findlay now sending a long ball forward, broken up by California.
Looks like we're going to have a substitution.
Yep. Everybody getting a little eager, you know, wanting to get back to the play. 5 minutes left in the second half. A 1-0 game in favor of California. You know, tensions are high. Intensity is up, Colin, and
chances are running low.
Yep, exactly. And we're going to be looking at a Pretty wild finish, if I had to guess, the way the things have panned out throughout this game. Of course, Findlay, just a reminder that they are down to 10 men. Joey Bushaney received a red card in the 83rd minute.
Oh, what a burst of speed there. Just a bit too late.
A battle for the ball in the far corner. Findlay comes away with possession. More pushing and shoving. Now the referee signals to stop the clock at 3:51. More cards will be shown. This one on Dickinson. A yellow card for Dickinson.
Lots of cards being thrown around here today, Steve. Could build a house of cards.
Exactly, including a red card on Bushaney.
It's the 4th yellow card for Findlay here today.
Exner sends the ball forward. California unable to get ahead on it. Findlay clears, but not out of their own defensive third. Nice moves, gets Atkinson out of trouble, but not before sending it straight back to the Vulcans. A foul called after the kick on Taylor Miles. That one was after the kick. Just like I said, Dickinson is going to take a walk back to the bench.
I think we might be seeing another red card here. It is in the referee's hand.
No, actually, you know what? I think he was just telling him to get out of the situation. Maybe Dickinson is heading towards the bench. I'm not 100% sure what's going on here, Colin.
He's holding. Okay, we're going to see a yellow.
That's a yellow on number 25, Andrew Bricker. You know what? Dickinson's going off. I didn't see the red shown. They are. They're only down. They're now down to 9 men. I didn't see the card shown, Colin. All I saw...
Oh, here it is. It just came across our stat line thanks to Matt Kiefer and the Sports Information Department for keeping us updated. Indeed, red card shown. Josh Dickinson, 82nd minute. Or 86th minute, rather, I'm sorry.
And that was his... maybe this is why I didn't see it, because it was his second yellow, and I think the referee just had enough of him, just told him to get it out. Now California, all they really need to do is hold defensively, because, you know, things aren't looking good for the team with 9 men on their side, Findlay.
It's getting very aggressive on the field here,
is.
Steve. Almost borderline unprofessional. I hate to say anything like that, but you
just got to keep your heads. You got to keep your cool.
You have 3 minutes left in the contest here. Don't make any rash decisions that could affect you playing in a future contest.
Right. Either way, I think the California players understand that. They understand that they are in the lead. Mario Ulizzi getting pretty physical. And then finally a foul called by Findlay. Free kick in top corner. I'm sorry. My mistake. That was just wide.
It looked like it made its way into the back of the net from our vantage point. Every reason to be excited. I was right on the hype train with you.
An unbelievable free kick, just wide. I'm not 100% sure how that one was wide. A great free kick from Paul Young Jr. curling to the top corner, just wide. Findlay on the counter. Burton, shots on, off the California man into the arms of Exner. 2 minutes to play in the second half. Exner sending everyone forward. Goes short. Needs to get it away.
Interesting that that handball was not called there. We had a great view of that one. Very volleyball-esque there.
Yeah, looks like a dig from volleyball. Burton with a nice touch forward. Too much pace on it, out wide. The intended man was Christopher Lightis. Minute 30 left in the second half. Substitution being made for California. The man going off is Manfred Quartang. Foul called on California.
Kwesi Aban returns for California.
Findlay sending everything in the kitchen sink up for this free kick. Even Nathan Sear is up at the midfield. Ball's in. Head on. Way wide of the target.
1 minute.
1 minute left in regulation. Keegan Winkler was the man that got the head on that free kick. 40 seconds left to play in this game. Findlay down to 9 men after receiving 2 red cards.
Heads-up play to be able to jump out of that tackle there.
California settles at midfield. Wow. Marcel Munker just wrapping himself around the California midfielder Joshua Boss. And he will see yellow. And that just about wraps it up. 18 seconds left. The clock is stopped, but California has a free kick, and Diego Rodriguez is the man stepping forward. California still has 3 people back. Let's say 4. Just 2 men up. Short ball to Campbell. And now this will go long. A head on. Right into the arms of Nathan Sear. 10 seconds left. Maybe can try to get something off. Under 10 seconds. Now 5.
6, 5.
Onto the feet.
4,
But just wide.
2,
And that will do it for California. After a physical game, California comes away with a 1-0 victory. Colin Findlay, I think they kind of lost themselves, kind of lost control of their own game, and that resulted in a tough defeat.
Very rough defeat indeed here. When you lose yourself in physicality like that, you play to your full potential, and we saw it on display here today. Unfortunately, just couldn't keep cool heads, and calmer heads prevail.
Yeah, seeing 2 red cards, not 1 but 2, playing with only 9 men with about 5 minutes left on the clock. You know, it's a recipe for disaster, and California fought for that 1-0 win, and they head into Roberts Wesleyan in New York on the 12th, coming off a pretty solid victory.
Yeah, and as we talked about earlier in terms of if they were to secure this victory, they've now made it to the halfway point of their victory total from last year with 1, as they only won 2 last year, so one would think things are looking up.
A great win for California, partner. It was a pleasure. Thank you to everybody on staff. Our director, Danny Beck, our guys on camera, withstanding the rain. And thank you, Colin, for Colin Kirkwood. I'm Stephen Ruffing. Have a happy Memorial Day or Labor Day weekend. Thank you for tuning in for this California win, 1-0 over Findlay of Ohio here on CUTV.